So, how do you go from making Alien an absolute classic, an absolute fantastic film? How do you make a better film than that? How do you do it better? You know what you do? You put in more aliens. So we're going to talk about Aliens, the direct sequel to the original Alien. The slight difference with this film from the last one is the director and screenwriter, who is James Cameron for this one. You know that guy that made that little movie Avatar, that little movie Titanic, that little movie Avatar The Way of Water. You know that other little movie Terminator 2. You know that guy? Yeah, that guy. He directed this one. It's not like he does anything good, is it? James Cameron. Who is James Cameron? We're going to take a deep dive and look into Aliens. Let me know your thoughts. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and let's go and look at Aliens. So, Aliens, the direct sequel to the original movie Alien. This time, James Cameron taking control, making the sequel. Is it as good as the first one? That's what the question is. Like, we know there's a lot of sequels that are made that are not good compared to the original. There's some of them that are just a step down. But, to me, Aliens is one of those that is in the top tier of greatest sequels ever made. That's right. Not only is it one of the greatest sequels ever made, this movie to me is the greatest sci-fi movie ever made, and it is also my second all-time favorite movie. I adore this film. So when you guys all chose Alien, I was so excited to talk about this movie. As someone who's absolutely adored this film, majority of my life, I'm just so stoked that I finally get a chance to just let out my excitement and my feelings for this movie. Like this, I love this movie so much. So we pick up right where we left off from the previous Alien. So there has been some time, and we do learn about that in this movie, that there has been time since the first Alien. Now, Ridley, we know, not Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott directed it. What am I talking about? Ripley is in hypersleep, right? So she is drifting in space. They find her, and we actually find out that it's been 56 years. So she has been asleep for that long. So when I mean it's like picks up directly after that, it does in a way, but we just had this big time skip. But Ripley doesn't age. Like her story continues because she's just been in this deep sleep. So this is where we start to get introduced to new characters. We get introduced to one character that when he dies is one of the most satisfying feelings, Burke. I mean, Burke Carter, whatever his name is. Well, I just know him as Burke the asshole. Because this guy is the typical corporate, absolute animalistic asshole. That's what this guy is. And when he dies in this movie, it is one of the most satisfying things that you could ever get. A character you absolutely despise kicks the bucket to an alien. The only time I'll ever root for the alien is right here. When Burke turns and sees the alien. I'm like, bro, you had this coming. You had this coming. And we're going to talk about why he had that coming. Because we first meet him here, and he's trying to talk about, you know, bring Ripley along to this mission. Because, you know, you remember that little planet that they landed on in the first Alien? Well, guess what they decided to do? Guess what the humans decided to do? Yeah. You know, that brilliant bunch of race people. You know that human being race? Yeah, those guys, the ones that think they're absolutely the bee's knees, the center of the universe, the idiotic guys, women. Like, guess what we decided to do? We're gonna build a colony on that planet. It's been there for 20 years. And Ripley's like, are you kidding me? Have you not even heard a single word I've been saying? There's fucking killer aliens down there. But these guys are like, yeah, alright, you've made that up, haven't you? So Ripley is absolutely like fuming, and now they want her to go on this mission because guess what? Can you believe this? They lost communication with that colony. Jeez, you'd think there was aliens or something down there. So she then agrees to go on there, and she's going down there with military support. So we did have this horror element, this really sci-fi horror slow build up in the first Alien movie. This one, as we get into it, is more or less an action-heavy movie. It's got horror elements to it, but it's not this slow burn. At the start it is, especially if you do watch the extended edition, which the director's cut, which I personally prefer over the theatrical. It gives you this bit at the start and it shows you that planet, and it actually shows you how the aliens actually infect the whole colony. Because that's what this story is all about. It's about this colony that's down there that's been infected, and we actually see how that occurred. And again, it's Mr. Burke telling people, go check that spaceship, go check it out. After hearing Ripley's story, and guess what? Yeah, guy's just absolutely just murderful. So James Cameron does do some great stuff in this film. He does add to the alien lore, which I absolutely loved as well. I love it when there's this world building and this lore that's explored, and James Cameron builds upon that. Now, as we meet our military grunts, as they call them in the film, we meet all of them. This is where the fun begins, because they are just so great. These characters, I absolutely love these characters. The banter that is thrown, the jokes land, you rooting for these characters. I mean, that scene where he's just like, Hudson, get over here. Get over here, Hudson. Absolutely love it. Like, Hudson is so hilarious. He is Bill Paxton, man. The guy is absolutely hilarious. And then you also have Michael Biehn in here as well. The guy that was supposed to be this huge action star that never really became that. He's in here as Corporal Hicks, who I absolutely love as well. Ripley's obviously back, Sigourney Weaver. And we get a new android in this one as well. And this android isn't quite like Ash in the last one. Bishop is a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Likeable. I'm actually rooting for Bishop. He's kind of a bit of an MVP in this movie. And I love that about him. So what I love is James Cameron took the idea of Ripley at the start, dealing with the PTSD from the experience on the first movie. And I like that. So we're given this development of her trying to figure out, having nightmares, doesn't want to go to the planet. I love how he discovered that and used that with this character. And this is what makes Ripley such a great character and one of the best female-led characters of all time, is because we see the stages that she goes through. We have her in Alien, where she's this normal person who's just trying to do their job, and then faces this difficult task with this creature that's killing her crew, trying to kill her. She's crapping herself. She's scared. She finds the courage to take it down, and now she's dealing with the after effects of that encounter. And we see how it's really taken a toll on her at the start. But then she obviously gets on the thing. She's down there with all of them. So they go in and they try and find the crew, the whole colony. And they're not there. There's not there. And they can see that there's like acid have come down. So her whole story is lining up. And Burke's kind of like, oh shit. Damn. Maybe she's right. So now, this is where we get introduced to Newt as well. A young girl who has survived this onslaught. So we don't know roughly. I think the rough estimate, it would be a week maybe of this happening from when they discover the alien ship and then they get absolutely just decimated. So we figure out that they're all in this one area. So they all go down there to find out this, and this is where you get this really insane view of the aliens, what they are actually capable of and what they are actually doing. Because in the first one we only had the one alien, but now we have a whole group of them, and you see the humans strung up on the walls, chest open. It's just gruesome, straight out of horror, absolutely gross. And you just see that what they do is they take the humans, put them up there, get the egg, face hugger, create more of them. That's how they reproduce. So it's absolutely insane that this will happen. Then they get into this big firefight with them, and we just see them getting absolutely destroyed. The xenomorphs are killing them left, right, and center, picking them off, and it's just absolutely brutal scene. Few of them get away. We see acid land on people as well, and it's absolutely brutal, the smoke. So they regroup, and now they got to try and figure out how they're going to get off this planet. And Bishop tells them, look, that thing's going to blow. So we kind of need to get off this planet. We've got 4 hours before it blows up. It's going to be a nuclear explosion. So yeah, that changes everything. So that all happens. So now this is where Bishop becomes the MVP man, because he goes down in the pipe to crawl outside to realign the thing so that the ship can come down and pick them up. So he's kind of an MVP here. So he goes and does that. Meanwhile, they're trying to you know, string up everything. And meanwhile, when Ripley and Newt fall asleep, this is why we hate Burke. This is why we hate him. There's two facehuggers in a container that is still alive that these people, the colony people, have been trying to find. Now, he lets them out in the medbay where they're sleeping. Guy, man, like, come on, man. So his whole idea is he can't get them through actual, like, immigration and everything like that. He can't get them in. So, but if they impregnate the two people that he wants them to, then he can get them apart through, and then that way he's got the aliens there, and then they can use it, because, you know, humans, man, we are just, this is the problem with us, man. And Ripley makes an absolutely fantastic point in this movie regarding this. She says to Burke, like, you don't see them fucking each other over for a freaking number. That's what humans do. We fuck each other over just to get that number, to get more money, to do this, to be rich. And the consequences are, this alien could absolutely decimate human population. Like, it could destroy Earth. So, this is where Ripley's trying to rip it into Burke and saying, like, bro, man, you are jeopardizing the whole thing. We need to nuke this planet down. Like, we need to get out of here and just kill them all. And obviously, they want to keep the alien and use it for the bioweapons department. That's what they want. And, like, that's just, it's so typical of humans to do something like that. So this is where they actually breach the walls, and this is where another firefight happens. Burke then, you know, snakes his way out, closes the door. They're trying to get out, but it's so satisfying because as Burke turns to the next door, there is the xenomorph who fucking just absolutely zaps the guy. Dead. Game over. See you later, Burke. No one cares. No one's sad. Bye-bye. Get out of here. Most satisfying kill I've ever seen in my whole entire life in a movie. Oh, man. Bloody Burke, hey. Bloody Burke. I'd be surprised if anyone did like him. But he's made not to be liked. So anyway, here's where we get this fight. They are on the run. They go through the air vents. And this is where we see Vasquez and the, it's not corporal, lieutenant, actually sacrifice themselves because they're shooting these xenomorphs. They're getting acid on them. They're running out of bullets. So they decide they're going to blow up themselves in the vent. Blow up all the xenomorphs there as well. And then as Hicks, Ripley, and Newt are trying to escape, the explosion rattles everything. Newt falls down this other shaft and goes down. So now Hicks and Ripley now have to find Newt. So they're on the run, and this is one of the most iconic scenes, like shots. I absolutely love this shot. Is when they see Newt down in there. She's in like this water underneath the whole. She's underneath the actual like walking platform thing there. So she's sitting there in the water. They're trying to cut through, and this is where we see the xenomorph behind her. It's just an absolute stellar shot. So gorgeous. And it takes the kid away. So now Ripley now has to go find this kid. This is where we see that shift in character for Ripley. So as her and Hicks are going away, Hicks gets injured. Bishop has got the ship down. She's like, we're not leaving. Because what I love is the connection with Newt. She's basically become a mother. She's taken that mother role. And when you take a youngling from a mother, what happens? You don't do that because the mother comes back with vengeance. Absolutely comes back with vengeance. So this is where we see Ripley start to change as a character, going from this scared woman to a survivor to absolutely just distraught, PTSD, stressed out, don't want to deal with it, to now this absolute badass who is a mother who wants to kill to get her youngling back. So she's taping the flamethrower, she's taping the pulse rifle together, she's going there, she looks like an absolute badass, and she goes through and she finds Newt. She saves Newt just in time, pulls her from there, and as she's trying to walk back out, there's eggs everywhere. Absolute eggs everywhere. So in this movie as well, there is a reference to who is laying these eggs. Because you've got eggs, then you've got the xenomorphs that come out of the humans. So who is laying these eggs? Like, how is this eggs coming? Well, James Cameron answers that question. He gives us some lore. There is an alien queen. So we see this gigantic alien attached to one of the grossest things I've ever seen in my life that's laying the eggs. It's absolutely like to think that this movie was made on $18 million back in the day. Yes, some of the effects you can tell that it's green screen, it's like a model. You can tell like that, but you got to remember this was made back in the 80s on an $18 million budget. If you gave James Cameron the budget he had for Avatar and Avatar 2 for this movie, bro, this movie would be looking exactly like Avatar. Like it would. But he just didn't have the technology and didn't have the money to do that. So in order to create a movie like this on $18 million, man, that's fucking insane. That's why James Cameron's one of the greatest, because he can do stuff like this. And to top off and make a better film than Ridley Scott's original one, the guy never misses. The guy never misses on a sequel. He's the sequel king. I mean, Terminator 2, absolutely fantastic. Aliens, fucking fantastic. Avatar 2, better than the first one as well. The guy doesn't miss a sequel, man. He's so good. So we have Ripley going in, seeing the alien queen, and I love this moment. This is so good. So obviously the other xenomorphs come in, and Ripley's like shows the flamethrower, shoots it, and goes, "Do you want me to kill these eggs? Because you want me to do this because these are your eggs. I'm gonna do that." So the alien queen tells them to shoo off. So Ripley starts walking back, and one of the eggs open. And I love the look Sigourney Weaver gives. She just looks at him and goes, "Really? Like, seriously? You're going to do this? Well, guess what?" And she just burns them all. She starts burning. The alien queen's going off. She's shooting all the xenomorphs. She's blasting grenades into the pouch thing that lays the egg. She's blowing up everything. The alien queen gets loose and starts chasing them. So Ripley's trying to get out. She's pressing every freaking button for the elevator to come down. And in doing so, she makes a mistake, which I like about her character is she's not flawless. Like, she makes a mistake. And by pressing every button, this is where the mistake happens. As she gets into the elevator and goes up, the other elevator comes down. So the alien queen goes in that one and goes up. So this is where you see even though she's so heroic in that, doing that, she didn't really process because she's panicking. She's like, "Shit, this thing's coming after me. I need do." Everyone would do the same in the situation. But doing that, she's giving the alien queen a chance to get out and escape. So as they're going up the elevator, she realizes Bishop's no longer there in the plane. And she's like, "Oh, I've been fucking ditched by another android. Like, the android has fucked me over again. First Ash, now Bishop." And then the alien queen comes up. And then she's about to accept her death. She's got no ammo, no flamethrower, no nothing. She's about to accept, and we see Bishop rise in the plane. He picks her up. They fly off, and then the whole thing explodes. And you're thinking to yourself, "Wow, absolutely fantastic. The action's fantastic. The characters are great. Absolutely love it. It's so good. Absolutely fantastic." And you're thinking, that's it. Back up to the mothership. We're all good. All good. So they come off the thing, and she's saying to Bishop, "Hey man, thank you, man. You did really well." And then out of nowhere, the alien queen just fucking sticks its fucking tail through Bishop. Like, Bishop, man, of all people, Bishop did nothing wrong to you, and you want to stab him with your tail, pick him up, and then just absolutely rip the guy in half? Like, come on, man. What did Bishop ever do, man? I can't. I loved Bishop, and to see him just get absolutely rinsed like that, I was like, damn. So she tells Newt to go hide. She then runs off and closes this door. She's in there, and she's suiting up into that carrier robot thing that lifts up the containers and moves them. She's loading up in that. The alien queen is trying to get Newt, and I mean, one of the most iconic scenes in cinema history. I would be shocked if no one knows this scene. Like, I mean, come on. Like, this is one of the most iconic scenes. The door opens, and here is Ripley in the machine. Alien queen right there. And she delivers this.
Get away from her, you bitch!
It's just absolutely iconic, man. That line is just so badass, and it shows just the character growth that Ripley has gone on. It's absolutely incredible. So she goes toe to toe with the alien queen in this thing, and it's freaking epic going on. She devises a plan to open the airlock and chuck it down there. She picks it up and she throws it down there. The alien queen grabs her and pulls her down as well. So it's getting crushed by this thing. She gets herself loose. She starts climbing the ladder. She opens the air hatch. The alien queen grabs onto her, and it's just like, what the hell is going to happen? Bishop starts coming to the airlock. He latches on, holds himself there, and here comes Newt. She's coming down, and you're thinking, oh my god, are we going to lose Newt here? Is Newt going to go out there? But man, Bishop, half of Bishop, comes to the rescue, grabs her, and holds her like the king he is, man. Bishop, man. MVP of this movie, almost. Like, he is just got the ship to save him, and then saves Newt in the process as well. Guy's just absolutely insane. And also gets ripped in half to save people. Like, come on, man. Guy's a legend. So, that's all happening. Ripley finally gets the alien queen off. She goes flying out. And then Ripley closes the airlock. And boom. There it is. Hicks is alive. So, he goes in. He's absolutely wounded. So, then he goes into hypersleep. They put Bishop in there as well. Or half of him. Newt and Ripley then go to sleep as well. And it ends there. So, for me, Aliens is just so good. I love this. Like, from the action, from the performances, from the characters. I mean, I like all the characters. Like, yes, Burke is an absolute asshole, but I like his character in the way that he's done. He's done to be an asshole on purpose. Like, the idea of you hating Burke and wanting him to die is done on purpose, and I think James knew that, and the way that he portrayed him and got him out and wrote him was absolutely fantastic. And it worked, because I didn't like him, and that was the idea. The idea was to be on Ripley's side and not his side, not on the corporate side. So I love when James does that. So for me, this is the best Alien movie. It is, because it's my second favorite movie of all time. I think James Cameron nailed it. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I love it. Absolutely love it. It's just incredible. It's so good. Best sci-fi movie. If you take like Star Wars out of it, it's the best sci-fi movie. I absolutely love this movie so much. It's just got a special place in my heart. I really enjoyed rewatching it. I was so excited when you guys picked Alien to rewatch this and talk about this movie, because I just think it's so good. The characters are funny. Hudson, man, he's so hilarious. Bill Paxton is just so good. So good. Oh, it's so good, man. So, let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of Aliens? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you like it as much as I do? Smash down that comment section below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay safe. Peace out.